You might find this hard to believe, but someone much younger than you is already connected to your future, not because of fate, not because of chance, but because of how you make people feel. This isn't a fantasy or a prediction. It's psychology, timing, and emotional gravity. And by the end of this, you'll understand why this connection is real and why it's coming closer than you think. Section 1. Why someone younger is naturally drawn to you. When people hear the idea of someone younger falling deeply for them, the first reaction is usually disbelief. Society teaches us to focus on age as a number, but the human mind doesn't work that way. Attraction is not built on calendars, it's built on emotional experience. From a psychological perspective, younger people are often drawn to those who feel steady. Not loud, not desperate, steady. You've lived enough to know who you are, and more importantly, who you are not. That calm confidence sends a powerful, silent signal. You are safe to be around, and safety is one of the strongest drivers of long-term attraction. Younger hearts are still learning how to regulate emotions. They feel things intensely. When they encounter someone who responds instead of reacts, listens instead of competes, and speaks with clarity instead of confusion, something shifts inside them. They may not understand it right away, but they feel grounded near you. Their nervous system relaxes. This is why the connection doesn't start with flirting. It starts with conversation, with comfort, with the strange feeling that time moves differently when you're around. Psychologically, this is called emotional anchoring. Their mind associates your presence with peace. And here's the key truth most people miss. Younger individuals don't fall for age. They fall for how they feel when they're with you. That feeling becomes familiar, then comforting, then necessary. And long before romance appears, attachment quietly takes root. Section 2. The moment you became different in their eyes. At first, you were just another person in their world. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious. But then there was a moment, quiet, almost invisible, when something changed. It might have been how you listened without interrupting, or how you stayed calm while others rushed to judge. Maybe it was the way you spoke honestly, without trying to impress. Psychologically, these moments create what's called contrast attraction. You stood out not because you did more, but because you did less. Younger minds are constantly overstimulated. Noise, opinions, pressure. When they meet someone who brings clarity instead of chaos, their brain notices immediately. Your presence became a pause, a place where they could breathe. And once the brain registers relief, it starts seeking it again. This is where emotional imprinting begins. They replay conversations in their head. They remember your words longer than they remember others. Not because you were charming, but because you were consistent. Consistency feels rare, and rarity feels valuable. Over time, you became the standard, the comparison point. Without realizing it, they began measuring others against how you made them feel. That's when attraction shifts from curiosity to connection. Not loud, not rushed, just deeply rooted and quietly growing. Section 3, the quiet signs. They're already emotionally attached. Emotional attachment doesn't announce itself. It shows up in small, almost forgettable behaviors. And with someone younger, those signs are often even more subtle because they don't fully understand what they're feeling yet. They begin to seek your opinion, even on things they could easily decide themselves. Not because they lack confidence, but because your perspective feels grounding. Psychologically, this signals trust-based attachment. Their mind sees you as a safe reference point. You may notice they open up to you in ways they don't with people their own age. They talk about fears, confusion, future dreams. This isn't accidental. Vulnerability flows towards safety. When someone shares their inner world with you, it means their nervous system feels protected in your presence. Another sign is mirroring. They start using phrases you use, adopting your tone, even slowing down when they speak with you. This is an unconscious bonding response. The brain does this when it wants closeness, not approval. And perhaps the most important sign of all, respect appears before romance. They don't rush intimacy. They value your boundaries. They care how you see them. In psychology, respect is the foundation of long-term love. When you see it this early, attachment has already begun to form, quietly, deeply, and very real. Section 4. Why this connection feels like destiny, but isn't magic. When a younger person starts feeling deeply connected to you, it often feels unreal, almost destined, like something that wasn't planned, but couldn't be avoided. Psychology has an explanation for this, and it has nothing to do with magic. This connection usually forms at a very specific time. You met them when you were no longer trying to prove yourself, and they met you when they were still becoming who they are. That timing creates emotional alignment. Your certainty meets their curiosity. Your calm meets their intensity, and the balance feels powerful. The human brain is wired to create meaning from timing. When someone enters our life during emotional change, we assign them a special role. You became part of their growth story, not as a teacher, but as a stabilizing presence. That's why the bond feels significant. Another reason it feels like destiny is effortlessness. There's no chasing, no games. Conversations flow. Silence feels comfortable. Psychologically, ease signals compatibility. The brain interprets this as, this is right, even when logic questions it. So when this connection feels inevitable, understand this. It's not fate pulling you together. It's two emotional systems meeting at exactly the moment they were ready for each other. And that kind of timing feels unforgettable. Section 5. The name and what it really represents, the twist. Now here's where expectations shift, because the name you were promised was never meant to be a name you could spell. It's a pattern, a type of person, not a label. Psychologically, the younger person drawn to you shares specific traits. They are curious, not cynical, emotionally open, not guarded. They haven't been hardened by too many disappointments yet. That's why they notice your depth instead of being intimidated by it. This kind of person is drawn to meaning, to conversations that go beyond surface talk, to someone who doesn't rush connection, but allows it to unfold. Your presence gives them permission to slow down, and that feels rare in their world. They are younger not just in age, but in emotional flexibility. Their mind hasn't closed itself off. That's the real name, openness. And openness naturally gravitates towards stability. So when you think of who might marry you, don't imagine a face or a name yet. Imagine a feeling. Someone who feels safe with you before they feel desire. Someone who respects you before they fall for you. That's the person this story has been pointing to all along. Section 6. What this does not mean. Reality check. This is important to say because real psychology is honest, not dramatic. This connection does not mean every younger person who admires you is meant to marry you. Attraction alone is not destiny. Age difference does not automatically create compatibility, and emotional comfort doesn't replace shared values or life goals. It also doesn't mean you should wait, chase, or assume intentions that haven't been expressed. Healthy connections grow through clarity, not assumptions. Psychology shows that lasting relationships require mutual readiness, not just emotional pull. Sometimes this younger person enters your life to reflect something back to you, your growth, your stability, your emotional presence. Sometimes they stay, sometimes they don't. Both outcomes can be meaningful. The truth is this: when a bond is real, it doesn't rush you or confuse you. It feels calm, grounded, clear. And if this connection is meant to turn into marriage, it will move forward naturally, without pressure, fear, or guessing games. If this message stayed with you longer than you expected, Trust that. Some connections don't arrive loudly. They arrive gently and change everything over time. Pay attention to who feels calm, safe, and familiar in your life right now. And if this resonated with you, share your thoughts below. Sometimes clarity begins with a quiet conversation.